As the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors continue their seemingly unstoppable journey on the road to the NBA Finals on June 1st, there were other developments in the league this past week. After winning a Game 7 to make their way to the Eastern Conference Finals last Monday night, the Celtics had another reason to celebrate on Tuesday night as they won the NBA Draft Lottery. What does that mean? It is the #1 pick in the 2017 NBA Draft. Speculation is that the Celtics will pick up either Markelle Fultz or Lonzo Ball, both fantastic point guards coming out of college. We'll discuss this as well as the NBA announcement of its All-NBA teams with our panelists. We want to welcome, first of all, Torrey Mark. He's an NBA blogger. And we have also joining us again, Brendan Taylor, who covers a number of different sporting events. Let's start with you. First of all, I want to go straight into the NBA announcement of its all teams. And I'm going to read, as you can see, viewers, on your screen. We have the NBA first team: James Harden, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis. The NBA all second team: Stephen Curry, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you know what I mean, Rudy Gobert. And the third team is John Wall, DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and DeAndre Jordan. Tori, any issues with that list?
Well, yeah, definitely. The first thing that stands out to me right there is DeAndre Jordan. Out of everyone on that list, I don't think DeAndre Jordan should be there. You know, give credit to him. He's a good basketball player. But quite frankly, you know, you have people like Karl-Anthony Towns who could be better, who can be on that list. And DeAndre Jordan, he's just not a game changer. He's a good defensive player. He's good at rebounding, but he's not that good at scoring. He can't really do anything without Chris Paul. He doesn't have any post moves. You know, he can't shoot free throws. How are you going to have somebody who's all on NBA first team and he's one of the worst free throw shooters in the league? For me, that just doesn't make any sense. And I think Karl-Anthony Towns should have been there over him.
I disagree with his assessment of Karl-Anthony Towns being over DeAndre Jordan. For the simple fact that Karl-Anthony Towns is the worst pick and roll defender at his position in the NBA. There's a reason the Timberwolves are the 13th seed. If you look at them defensive efficiency-wise, they actually got worse this year with Karl-Anthony Towns playing more minutes. So I think that's a very alarming thing if you're looking at him being on an All-NBA team. Now, while DeAndre Jordan maybe is limited and he definitely has
He's very limited.
Very limited offensively. That's not what he's paid to do. He's paid to be the defensive, versatile guy that he's been for year after year.
But then when it comes down to clutch time, it doesn't even matter because he can't hit his free throws. All you gotta do is foul him.
Look, I like Karl Towns more than DeAndre Jordan, but as far as like him being on the All-NBA team over DeAndre Jordan, not this year.
Well, hold on. I think you guys are, listen, the biggest travesty in this, first of all, is whoever did not vote for LeBron James to be unanimous All-NBA should have that vote, the right to vote, withdrawn from them. It was voted on by 100 media members, just so you know, before the playoffs even start. But it's ridiculous that LeBron James is not the unanimous. Everybody should have voted for him. The second thing is, how is Kevin Durant not on a first NBA All-NBA team?
Well, it's simple. LeBron James is there. He's taking his spot.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis is there.
Well, yeah, but Anthony Davis is a center.
Well, maybe that's the problem, right?
Yeah. Clearly, they're doing it by a position thing. So if it was just you know, no positions included, he would definitely be there over Anthony Davis.
The best 15 players.
But because they have to have one at the center position, LeBron James has to be first over Kevin Durant.
You agree with this?
No, I agree that the NBA should go to a positionless All-NBA format because All-NBA is supposed to represent the best players in the NBA. You know, no disrespect to positions. You know, I'm all for positions, but as far as representing who's the best in the league, it has to go to that format because the league is positionless
and not
anyway.
Only that, but a lot of the players nowadays are becoming a lot more versatile. You have LeBron James who can play, you know, all positions. You have Kawhi Leonard who could play multiple positions. A lot of these players nowadays, they're not held to just one position. They could play, you know, at least 2 to 3 positions. So I mean, yeah, having that position kind of thing going on there really doesn't make sense anymore.
Now, the other one is Klay Thompson not being on any of those 3 teams. Now, Klay Thompson plays for a team that was the #1 team in the NBA, won 67, 68 games. I don't see room for Jimmy Butler, DeRozan. What are your thoughts on that, Tori, first of all?
Well, that could be mainly because he was overshadowed by Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant because they have a lot of great players. They have Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. And I think because there's so many, you know, so many players on that team that were doing so well, they didn't really have time to consider him as, you know, one of the main guys. Whereas Jimmy Butler, he's like the main guy for the team, so he kind of stands out more.
but for a team that barely made the playoffs.
My thing is, how do you ignore somebody who's part of the Splash Brothers? Like, we talk about the Warriors all the time.
The greatest backcourt in NBA history.
And you leave them off the list for Jimmy Butler, a guy who struggled to get the Bulls into the playoffs. If they didn't play the Magic and the Nets the last 4 games of the season, they would have been
Forget that. If the Brooklyn Nets didn't tank against the Heat, the Chicago Bulls wasn't going to be in the playoffs.
See, but again, you have Kevin Durant there, so he's basically, the All-Star brothers. You got Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. Because before Kevin Durant, came to the Warriors, it was Stephen Curry and Klay. Those were the guys who stood out as the 2 main offensive options, with Draymond Green as the defensive anchor. But with Kevin Durant, they're the best scorer in the league, even though he didn't get the league leader in scoring this year. It's just him and Steph Curry as the main 2 guys.
There's just no way for me to justify DeMar DeRozan and Jimmy Butler being over Klay Thompson.
Absolutely.
It's an obsession with fluff stats these days.
I do believe that.
You had, like, for All-Star games, for example, we had the year the Pistons was really good. You had 4 or 5 Pistons on the All-Star team. Atlanta Hawks, you had 4 or 5 Hawk on the All-Star. There is room for this.
But I highly disagree with you on the DeMar DeRozan part, because
What,
DeMar
did you
DeRozan,
like him?
because not only did their team do good, but he also played very good. DeMar DeRozan is a regular season player. He always plays phenomenal in the regular season. But when come playoff time, he doesn't show up. But this is not a playoff award. This is an award based on the season. And if we're going off of the season, I'm going to have DeMar DeRozan. Although with Jimmy Butler, I will agree that there could be space for another player.
My rebuttal to the DeMar DeRozan thing is that Klay Thompson is the more complete player. Even in being the 3rd or 4th option on the Warriors, he's a more complete player, being that he can play defensively at an elite level, offensively. I mean, this guy scored 36 points in a quarter. I know that's a different season, but I'm saying this is what he brings to the table.
Yes. Let's move to the NBA draft lottery. What should Boston do with this #1 pick?
I'd go Lonzo Ball.
Well, they could essentially trade their pick for an already an NBA ready player if that's what they desire. But if they're looking for an NBA ready rookie that could not only help the team now and also develop in the future, they're definitely going to have to go with one of the top picks, whoever they deem worthy. But I think personally that they should go with Lonzo Ball, because
You guys are crazy. They absolutely need to trade that pick.
I wanted to also say it all depends on the outlook of the GM. If the GM
But the outlook has to be ready to win. You have a team that just won 55 games, and you're on the brink of beating LeBron.
If they think they can win, the ideal move is to trade for Jimmy Butler. You trade that pick for Jimmy Butler.
Right away. Or Paul George.
Exactly. But if they don't trade that pick and they do decide that they want to go with the rookie, Lonzo Ball is their best option.
Over Markelle
Over
Fultz.
Markelle Fultz, yes. Because Lonzo Ball is a player who's known to make everyone else better around him, whereas Markelle Fultz is, mostly a scorer. And although they could use a backup scorer, they also need someone like Lonzo Ball who's got the size. He can do it all. He can rebound, he can score, he can shoot, he can pass. They need somebody who makes everyone on their team better. So come playoff time, the ball moves around and there's just great.